You know that moment when you first get to see your favorite sports team in the arena? Well, I've experienced this, but in a slightly different way. I felt the sensation when I first saw my ever fine arts performance. It was truly a breathtaking moment. But then this got me to thinking, why is it that sports teams and athletes get more recognition than the fine arts do? Athletes get more athlete. Oh, start over real quick.
Yeah, I keep it running.
I know.
You're free to go. Start. Go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know that moment when you see your first ever when you. I know I'm having one of those moments.
You're good.
You know that moment when you see your favorite sports team in the stadium for the first time? Well, I've experienced this, but in a slightly different way. I experienced this for the first time when I saw my first ever fine arts performance. It was truly a breathtaking moment. Then it got me to thinking, why is it that athletes get more recognition than the fine arts do? Well, sports teams and fans, they have games and pep rallies, and it gets promoted like gossip on social media. Whereas the fine arts, we get promotion, but it's not as beneficial. This brings me to my topic of persuasion. I think that the fine arts should get more recognition than sports based on time management, financial burdens, and psychological effect. Knowing athletes have some of the same burdens, they acknowledge getting that recognition fairly. It is nevertheless more obvious that uh, fine arts gets the fine arts has some of the same burdens as well, but they have a wider variety of devotion into their trade. To not waste any more time on your busy schedules, let's hop in right on into time management. Time is something that everybody struggles with, but as a member of the fine arts, it tends to slip through my hands. From a backstage reporter, Gwen Galis, said that from the actors she talked to, they said that they were perpetually busy and stressed, and they felt like they weren't doing enough. Well, this is because most actors juggle with a personal life, a day job, auditioning, training, and also working as an actor. Due to that, to their strict schedules, actors most of the time use the 40-30-20-10 formula. 40% of an actor's time goes into their income and producing work. This is normally a 5 to 8 hour time span where an actor is getting money and trying to financially stabilize their daily life. 30% of an actor's time goes into career development. This is roughly a 4+ hour time span when an actor is practicing their monologues, updating their resume, and even writing a blog. This not only helps an actor get their name put out there, but as well as practicing for upcoming performances. 20% of an actor's time goes into their personal life. This is roughly 3 to 4 hours, and it's a time when an actor can go home, clean, hang out with friends, and maybe even do some beauty care. 10% of an actor's time is an astonishing 1 hour a day. This time is when the actor finally gets to relax and enjoy themselves. Now, this is an actor's favorite time of the day when they can relax and enjoy that moment. But that moment of relaxation is nice. However, that is until they remember they have to do something and it ends up stressing them out. And one of an actor's most stressful things to worry about is money. Money in the acting world is the most stressful yet the most fulfilling thing to receive as a first paycheck. From a Business Insider report expressed the overwhelming financial burdens on actors. Okay. Most actors start putting in $150 into vocal lessons, $250 for dance shoes, $800 for a 6-week acting class, $1,000 for headshots, and more. Once they start getting into the acting field, it can get easier. However, that's unless they get the role they were auditioning for. If they're lucky enough, they can even get into a contract with a theater company and get $7,500 for a 6 to 8 week period, which meaning it's $144 a week. That alone is not enough to keep anyone afloat for a whole entire month. This is why most actors have a part-time job on the side of their busy schedules. While actors have to balance all these finances, it takes months, if not years, to start actually making real money and making acting a full-time job. If an actor doesn't actually get into acting and into the business soon enough, their passion, sooner or later, it starts to turn into depression and resentment against themselves. While I can say these are all really stressful things, it's not the worst, however. I can truly say the most amazing part about being an actor is that first moment when you get onto the stage and the audience responds back with an overwhelming applause. It's emotion that you can't put to words. If only time would stop in that emotional moment for actors on that stage, they might be better off. No one truly thinks about what happens to an actor when they get off stage. We all know the build up to the performance, and we all know but yet we don't know the aftermath of it all. The conversation.com expresses the overwhelming mental state on actors. In my opinion, getting into character is not as easy as it seems. It's not as easy as putting on a mask and then taking it off. It takes time to incorporate a little piece of yourself and have those emotions show throughout the whole entire show. I do this because to act, I have to connect certain memories to emotions and express those emotions into my character. Some actors, including myself, have a hard time disconnecting those emotions from the character, and this ends up leaving negative emotions and they keep them with them throughout their whole entire daily life. This is because the actor forgets to de-roll themselves out of their role. To fix this, actors just have to de-roll themselves and go back into their own mental state. And by doing this, everyone gets a positive experience and they get to go home and have and express themselves in a positive way. Time, finance, stress. If you ask me, they're all a lot to handle. Nevertheless, it's worth it. Sports athletes work hard, I do admit, but in my opinion, it takes a lot more acting. It takes a lot more effort to act. After hearing all this information, I hope I gave you some insight into the stresses that us fine arts members carry with us, and to help entertain you and your family. And maybe even instead of blowing off the upcoming musical performance, you might even decide to cave in and truly appreciate what we do to entertain you guys. From an actor to an audience, I also want to thank you all for letting me feel and experience those emotions on that breathtaking stage.